Jason Statham. Stop whispering, motherfucker.
Because he's trying to sound cool with what it is.
I thought you were sleeping.
I was sleeping. He was putting me to sleep.
Sleeping through this movie.
Yeah, I was. Everywhere he goes. Look, I know you a badass. You know, you can speak up a little bit, though.
Is he, though? Yeah. Because I always think, like, the guys who, like, really try to convince you that they're a badass, maybe it's because they're not really a badass.
Well, he don't need to convince me. No. I've seen him beat people's asses, you know.
We've seen him too many times beat people up. Yeah.
I don't know. I saw about 150 edits that looked like he might have been swinging at somebody and somebody hitting the ground, but I ain't never see him actually connect with nothing.
Guess what, Leon? Fooled me. All right? I believe it.
Yeah, I ain't going to challenge him. You know, while I'm in the safe distance of sitting on this couch and he's not here, fuck you. But
you ain't nobody. I'm going to rub your head.
Yeah. I don't need to see how well of an actor his foot is to my ass.
No. That foot is one of the most convincing actors in Hollywood I've ever seen. Hey, mother. Okay, all right, sir. And the Academy Award goes too. But man, Jason Statham. It's funny you should say you've seen this cut about 150 times because I've seen this movie about 150 times. Mm-hmm. God damn it, this ain't the same movie that I've seen over and over
actually,
again.
It's a little different because this time they go to try to bring some cred to it by bringing in actor James Franco as the big villain. Like you I was like going in, I was like, I forgot that the trailers for this, they made James Franco seem like he was sinister. He's got a grip on this town. And here comes this new guy, this undercover cop who he ain't gonna let him mess it up. Now also, they pull in, hey, remember back when Winona Ryder was hot? Well, now we dress her like a skank and put her in here. Now, that makes it not like every other Jason Statham movie, right? Mm-hmm. Right? Wrong.
No.
You better know what you're checking in for what you're checking into when you do a Jason Statham movie.
Yeah, they set this shit up. They like, man, we got Jason Statham, we got some meth. You thought you saw Breaking Bad. This shit gonna be better than Breaking Bad.
Calm down now.
Exactly.
Yeah, calm the fuck down.
Look, people, it's the same shit. All right, it's Jason Statham coming into town. He's always some ex-badass something. Always with some ex-military undercover shit.
Secret Service, secret police, secret everything.
Yeah.
Secret Santa, you know, he's always some
special forces, secret sauce. But you know what? He ain't like the others because he has a heart and he doesn't kill kids. And sure, he takes down the bad guy.
Yeah.
But when the cops put down the mob boss, the biker boss's son, even though he's pretty much begging him to, no. You didn't have to do that, mate. And even as his chief tells him, shut the fuck up. Yes, we did.
Where is this? This in Florida?
No, man. Where do they shoot movies? All the time.
Louisiana.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Louisiana.
Now, because it's so cheap to shoot in Louisiana, movies are set there for no reason. It's a backdrop. It ain't got nothing to do with the story, but they're in Louisiana.
That is true. It's actually like when you ask Jason Statham, hey, man, you got that British accent? How'd you end up here? It's cheap.
And the funny thing is, even in the movie, there's a point where he gets asked, like, why would you move your little daughter to this backwards ass hick town, this pimple on the asshole of Louisiana? And he just kind of tap dances and never really answers the question. Well, my wife had she visited this place one time.
That's one of those situations where he just kind of mumbled up, "Hey, how'd you end up here with that accent?"
I thought.
Yeah, pretty much. He just trailed off and walked away.
I thought he kicked ass just about everywhere except Louisiana, so he figured, hey, might as well, that and the gumbo.
Well, you know what the thing is, co-host, he actually did do it here because the movie that this reminds you probably so much of is The Mechanic because it was set in Louisiana also.
Damn, you got a good memory for shitty movies.
Well, no, we just seen this before. Yeah. That's all. It'd be funny if actually you ask, man, how'd you end up here? Well, that's so many fucking questions. Yeah. But so in this movie, as we said, he plays some X something. But before we saw the X put on top of that, we get to see his undercover work.
Right.
He's hanging out with a biker gang.
Yeah.
And they all thought that he was their brother. Hey man, you good people. We can always trust you. Until a raid happens, and of course he starts pulling out his gun and shooting everybody. And like, you betrayed us. And you're right, man. They have one of the guys that he was close with actually kind of came in late, so I might be wrong here, but
no, it's God, forgot the actor's name. He's famous bouncer. He used to be on Oz. Chuck Zito.
Chuck Zito.
Yeah,
okay.
Chuck Zito is the leader of the bikers.
Yeah, and he's hanging out with Chuck Zito, and Chuck Zito's son, he decides, he's like, look, shit, I ain't going to jail.
Right. Come on, son.
Yeah.
Get in the truck. We're getting out of here.
Like father, like son, my ass. I ain't about to get raped. You can go get raped, daddy. I ain't doing that shit. I'm going down like a man. The man you never were. He tell the cops, shoot me. And they give him his wish.
Yeah.
But for some reason, Chuck Zito looks at Jason Statham and said, you did this. You did it. And Jason Statham looked like, I didn't do shit.
It was because he noticed that fucking wig on Jason Statham's head throughout the whole time. I was like, wow, that looks fucking terrible. What is that on your head?
That was some Rocky Horror riff-raff shit he had on, man.
Yeah, it kills when these actors with these unconvincing wigs.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he Jason Statham from that moment on says, all right, that's it. I'm retiring. I'm giving it up. I betrayed this scumbag who I don't know why this particular case is sticking with me.
Yeah.
But I got to retire.
Yeah.
Me and my little girl, we just going to go to the country.
We're going to go to the swampland.
Yeah.
Now, being Jason Statham, I mean, be a boring-ass movie. You just move somewhere and then, well, it's all peaceful. It is good in the movie. But no, somebody got to start shit with him. And it's not one of the bikers.
Nope.
It's not a barroom brawl.
Nope.
It's not even like a pit bull or anything that starts shit with him. It's,
Almost.
It's Kate Bosworth.
Yeah. Skinny, anorexic Kate Bosworth. Talking more shit than Rudy Ray Moore.
Like, what happened, Lois Lane? I mean, what the fuck?
I mean, she's always been like a painfully skinny girl, but here it's like she's a meth addict, so she's more of like a method actor, meth addict. Here.
No,
but,
she smoked some of that product while she was there.
Yeah, I had to get into character.
Yeah.
But yeah, his daughter beats up the local bully.
Okay, so if you Jason Statham's daughter, Jason Statham's going to teach you how to fight,
Right.
and you end up beating somebody's ass on the playground. That's just how it is. So you got some big old cornbread fed motherfucker coming to this girl like, give me your head. She's like, fuck you, Pat. Of course, Mama Bullet played by Kate Bosworth. She ain't having it. No, she provoked my son. She started it. She did that. And
that bitch, she ain't all that. That's his daddy right there. I ought to kick his ass. Y'all throw him out of school. God damn it. Get rid of him. These motherfuckers here. Blah, blah, blah.
out in the parking lot.
Punking her husband. Hey, you gonna do something about that? And he's looking at Jason Statham. He's like, yeah, man, that wasn't cool. I told him.
She's a chick you see at Walmart one too many times getting in fights.
At 2:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
Out in the parking lot. That's what it was. Jason Statham goes to pick up his kid. She's like, look, your kid is good. Just might want to just have her just play it. She can defend herself. Just don't have her break somebody's nose and shit. You don't nobody with a crushed trachea and shit.
Yeah.
But,
Sorry that she's my daughter and she was just born to beat the fuck out of people.
But yeah, he's out in the parking lot getting ready to take her home. Kate Bosworth coming up like, oh, that the man that did it? Hey, motherfucker, you hitting. And the kid is, you know where it comes from because the kid is in the car. He's like, mama, don't start no shit. But he's like, motherfucker, act like a man. Come talk that shit to me. And, of course, she's like, yeah, motherfucker, what you gonna do? Baby, get this guy. Baby, that's Jason Statham. I've seen a lot of Jason Statham movies. You want this pussy tonight? You better do something.
They just had a marathon on TNT.
Because he is like, well, I guess I'll go and get my ass kicked.
And that's exactly what happened. He goes up there and beats the shit out that dude.
Jason Statham beats him so quickly, it's almost like he didn't even know he did it.
All over one fat motherfucking kid, man. One kid who was asking for it. Now that that's happened, the sheriff Clancy Brown is on his ass, and it just so happens that Kate Bosworth, she knows James Franco.
It's her brother.
A guy named Gator, the local
Gator,
the local meth dealer.
Yeah, we've never been properly introduced, young man.
Well, I won't ask your name. I personally believe a reputation's the most important thing. It's pissed off some of the locals.
Look, I don't want any more problems.
Okay. Anything else you're thinking hard about? Because I can smell the wood burning.
If someone has an issue with me, keep it there. I don't want my kid involved.
I'm a little lost.
I love it because in a small town, Louisiana, there's probably about 8 guys named Gator. But he's that one here.
In fact, it's so cheap to work in Louisiana. They got Gators working behind the camera. But yeah, he has ties. And it just so happens, coincidentally, that he has ties to the motorcycle gang. So now you got to deal with Gator. You got to deal with the motorcycle gang coming back into town. You got to deal with bitch ass little Kate Bosworth. While also trying to, seduce the local teacher. Because, that's what happens.
Teacher, got to raise his daughter, got to take care of her fucking cat.
And then Jason Statham beats them all up the end.
Oh, yeah. Beats everybody.
That's the movie. That's the movie for you, folks.
You know what? You're right, though. Like, there's a Jason Statham script machine, and we just gave you the setup. From there, you just run with it. You know what?
That's practically
we
the movie.
told you enough. Everything we told you. If you've seen 2 Jason Statham movies, you know exactly how the rest of this movie plays out.
Yeah, that's the kind of shit this is, man. It's like from that point on, it's the Jason Statham movie where he's just like, I just want to be left alone.
Yeah,
yeah. Just always want to be left alone.
Just want to pop my ass.
Well, if you stop fucking almost killing people when you're beating them up, maybe they would leave you alone.
Now the funny thing is, this movie is written by Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah,
and if I'm not mistaken, his last movie, Bullet in the Head. Well, it wasn't his last movie, but Bullet in the Head was set in Louisiana also.
Yeah.
Cheap. And it's like Stallone.
You gotta come down here.
So much of this movie seems like Stallone wrote this for himself.
Yeah.
Like he's just like, yeah, I'm gonna be great in this. And he's like, you know what, Jason, you've been in all my Expendables movies. Why don't you? I did this one for you. How about you take this?
I'm too old to do this now. Nobody's paying to see my movies.
Yeah, all right, Sly.
This is gonna win you an Oscar.
I'll do a favor for you, mate.
Yeah. Now, and what I mean by this is a movie where he wants to be left alone is that people need to learn to leave him the fuck alone. It's one of those movies where it's always somebody who don't learn.
Right.
He's beat up about 2 or 3 guys.
Yeah.
Somebody got to step up and say, well, you know what? I'll handle this. Yeah, they beat up them last guys. They ain't me. They ends up walking away looking like this. Looking like a president.
Walking like,
with his arm and his foot up his ass, And what I like about this one is that, okay, we've seen that over and over again when people come fuck with Jason Statham. There was a time when Jason Statham you come up and say, hey, ain't you, pow, pow, pow. He just would whoop anybody, would take no chances. With this one, he's trying, what I liked about this movie, and I'm not very fond of it, but what I like about it is that this is the one where they really made it look like everybody that got their ass whooped, they had it coming, because Jason Statham is nice. I mean,
you're right.
Yeah.
If you got an ass whooping in this movie, you really deserved it because
you pretty much came to him, you got down on one knee and gave him an engraved invitation and said, "Sir, could you please whip my ass because I'm out of control."
You're pretty much turning around and bending over and just going, yes, the kick me sign is right here. I already put it there for you.
There's an arrow pointing to your asshole saying, Jason Statham, enter here, but with your foot.
Yeah.
And I mean, he's so nice that even the kid that his daughter beat up, he said, look, I'm gonna go to the guy's job, the father, I'm gonna apologize to him.
Right.
And even the guy's like, what you doing here? The fuck, you got a lot of nerds coming around here. You could tell Jason like,
I know. Well, the guy was thinking like, okay, I have my coworkers here, and hopefully they'll help me out and not just stand back and watch me get my ass kicked.
Yeah. The guy's even being a dick, but then he says, baby, I'm gonna throw you a birthday party. And that guy that kid who you just almost fucking killed at school, invite him to the party. Show him that we're good people here. And even when he goes to invite the kid, the mom, Kate Bosworth, what the fuck you want? And it's like, oh shit. So that's the thing. He's good. He's so nice to the whole movie, and I kind of like that. I'm thinking, all right, now this is one where I want to see people get hurt. But if it just weren't for the formula, man, and James Franco is not actually, this is so formula, Jason Statham, that James Franco could have been anybody cast in this movie. This is an 80s film that is very generic. This is I smelled the VHS tape coming off this film. And if you get somebody like James Franco in there, I would figure that you would make him more of an ominous villain instead of somebody. He's not even the most threatening person in the movie.
In the least. He's only threatening because, okay, he'll sneak into your house when you're not home.
Yeah.
That's the most threatening thing he does. But they play it up like, oh no, not this guy. This you don't want to fuck with this guy. He's terrible.
Yeah.
No, he ain't. He's a coward like everybody else.
Yeah,
Matter of fact, he calls the motorcycle gang to do his dirty work.
And it's too bad that, especially seeing him in Spring Breakers, where I thought he did a great job playing Alien, or I'm like, oh, maybe they're gonna bring some of that into this, and no, absolutely not. You realize that, okay, this guy, he ain't running shit, really. I mean, he's just going to be another one of the guys who's going to be kind of like squealing his way out of the fight scenes every time. He notices Jason Statham's coming around. He's the guy who's pushing everybody else in front of him so they can get their ass beat.
He's the motherfucker when the shooting started and the fighting started. After everybody's dead, he's the one crawling out from behind the car.
Right.
Oh, yeah, I had it. Yeah. I took on about 5 of them myself.
Well, and even when they introduce him, they kind of build him up like he has this whole network going on. And then later you find out, no, he don't.
He ain't got shit. He ain't running shit.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
The only thing he's got is he can make a booty call to Winona Ryder, who's in a different part of Louisiana, who'll travel all the way there and do his bidding.
Yeah.
Until she gets punked by the motorcycle gang.
And you know, it's funny because when you think James Franco is going to be threatening because you're like, oh, shit, he's busting into Jason Statham's house. You got to be a badass to do that.
Yeah.
You know who lives here. And at this point, he's known as the guy who beat about 20 fucking people in this town.
Right.
So he's breaking into the house, and you think, oh, he going to leave a message. But no, he comes in. He's the guy that come in your house and just ruffle some folders.
Move shit around,
Yeah, and
take a shit and not flush.
No, he won't even do that. But he will pet your cat before you leave. You know,
He'll pet your cat, look at your CD collection,
look at
go,
this-
that's not bad.
leave a note for you saying, hey, nice CD collection.
He'll even turn off the lights when he leaves.
For so much of that movie, the worst thing he did was rip the head off of a stuffed bunny. I mean, I'm not even joking. That's true.
That is true. There's a point where he picks up the cat, and Jason Statham, like his daughter comes out and says, Daddy, Sylvester, he's not here. Where's the... Get it, Sylvester Stallone, his buddy. But anyway, he said, Sylvester, he's not here. I can't find him. And he's go looking everywhere. He's going through the swamps. And then he looks up and he's like... And then you're thinking, oh man, they got Sylvester. Then he goes over, it's the fucking stuffed bunny that he saw. And he's horrified by it.
Yeah.
Who did this? Who killed Fluffy?
He's a cat lover. He even changed out the litter box while he was hanging out there.
Which caused Jason Statham to go beat up 10 more guys looking for the rest of that rabbit.
He even beat that fucking cat. You gave me such a scare.
But you know, as typical '80s as it really is, like down to the bone, and obviously I was like, wow, should I really be surprised knowing that it came from like it was written by Mr. Sylvester Stallone himself, the guy who's trying to bring back the '80s.
He's trying hard.
Yeah, he's trying really hard.
Like he is not getting the message.
No, he's trying so hard, so much to the fact that he's starting to pawn this shit off on his friends.
Right.
He's like, hey, take this. We got to bring this shit back, and you can't help but hey. All right, if this will get me back in Expendables 3, sure.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you know what? There was still a part of that movie that just had me smiling all the way through, and that is because of the fact that Jason Statham was kicking these guys' ass who were, like, really just being cocky and so sure of themselves. Like, well, we've been through this game before. We've kicked plenty of strangers' ass out of this town. And I don't know. There was just a part of guilty pleasure watching all these fight scenes happen. Even though my biggest complaint about this film is that a majority of the fight scenes that you see, you can't really fucking see them
That was what
because
was
they're shot in the
killing me.
fucking dark.
Yeah, man,
And
I
they
was
forgot
like-
to turn on the light.
I was like, okay, look, the one thing this can have going for it is that Jason Statham can kick ass and show that. And these were just some of the worst fight scenes I've ever seen. Everything is super quick cuts. Like, it could have been anybody doing that. And they have the nerve to shoot the big scenes in the dark. I'm like, all right, I give up at this point.
You know what? That's
You don't want me to know what's going on.
The fight scenes are one thing, but when they get to the point where they actually start shooting,
You don't know who's getting it.
forget about it. Yeah, you can't even see anything at that point. I mean, I'm right there with you, man. You know, I as much as I complain about Jason Statham movies, man, it is nice to see him just slap the shit out of somebody who's just talking so much shit that they got it coming. There's something satisfying about that.
Look, the fact that he's also playing a dad who's just trying to make sure his little girl is protected at all times, especially having to deal with PTA shit where it's like, wow, this is a pretty kick-ass movie for a PTA movie.
Yeah, if only that's what it could have been what it stayed on.
But one of the things that bothered me, though, was that for this badass biker gang to be in there, they really didn't have anything to do with the movie.
No,
and
not at all.
They were really nondescript when they showed up, man. I mean, because James Franco's already disappointing as a villain. So you're thinking, all right, well, cool, all right, James Franco, they got him here for the name. But when those bikers get here, it's going to be on in, and they don't do anything but come up there and just get shot.
Those bikers felt like an afterthought.
Yeah, they-
honestly, it's like, wow, you guys are crowbarring these guys back in. I mean, what are you trying to make this a sequel or something? We're getting this part of the story so late into the movie,
As if
that-
they
that
shot
it's
the
supposed
movie
to mean something.
with James Franco as the villain, and then just looked at it and said, like, this ain't working at all. We got to bring something in here to be a real threat.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they probably
maybe
brought
that's the
those
thing.
two together, and I mean, they were just like, no, this ain't happening. It ain't gonna work.
Yeah, I would like to enjoy this more, but again, if it maybe okay, the fights, they're going to be predictable. You know what kind of movie you're getting into.
Oh, yeah.
It's just also one of those movies where right at the beginning they tell you who's going. You know who's going to die and who's not. What the movie's basically, what it's saying is that people who deserve to die, they will die. The people who don't, well, it's okay because they will not. Right? Even when you think that somebody who might be getting some emotion out of you because, I like that character there. Oh, no, he's okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, you know what I truly loved about it, though? There was a couple of moments in this movie that really took me off guard where you noticed Jason Statham is beating the shit out of guys left and right in front of his house while, you're wondering, wow, I hope the daughter's all safe and everything. But you hear her in several scenes, like, not just fighting with somebody who's trying to grab her, but, like, having a shouting match. Like, no, get off me. What are you doing? It's like everyone stops. Like, Jason Statham stops. Like,
true.
Is that my daughter? And you just hear, no, get off me. No, fuck you. Get your hands off me. I ain't going nowhere with you. Wait. And, blah, blah, blah.
And even though it was not really a good person who was taking her away, she was kind of like, I'm doing this for your own good. No, wait, over here. Shoot me over here.
He's making the loudest noise.
It's almost like she was telling the person who was grabbing her, like, shit, if I'm going down, we both going down. This bitch got me.
You can hear slapping in the background, like, no, get up.
That's true, man.
Yeah, I was hoping she was going to hit her with an oar and knock her out.
Yeah.
I was wondering if Jason Statham was going to put a bullet in his own daughter because he's making too much noise.
Shut up, you.
This is my scene.
Get us all killed.
Yeah. There's a group of people who would like this.
Yeah.
I know they will, but I think that they'll be going to Redbox.
That's what I would be. I mean,
Yeah.
believe me, whenever we get a Jason Statham movie, I'm honestly looking forward to it. Anytime these guys, Stallone, anybody, I'm looking forward to seeing it because I know exactly what I'm going to get. Sure, am I going to recommend it to anybody? Not really. I mean, I'll go, yeah, if you're into this. The thing is, if you're into this, you're going to see it anyway. I don't need to tell you. So, I mean, I leave it at that. But I don't know. For me, if you want to, I'm going to give it a rental. That's exactly the most appropriate rating you can give a movie like this.
It is. And I said it before, Coles, and you know what I'm talking about. That's one of the movies. It's called, boy, sit down in here and watch this movie with me.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is that's one of those movies your daddy used to call you into.
Oh, yeah.
With my generation, that's one of those movies where, all week your daddy done tell you how you fucked up, how you stupid, how you can't do nothing. But a good old action movie comes on HBO night like, boy, sit out here and bond with daddy and watch this.
Anytime Charlie motherfucking Bronson was on.
Charlie Bronson, anything like Charles
Death
Bronson.
Wish movies, sit your ass down, boy, learn something.
Yeah. maybe you grow a dick by the end of this movie. But yeah, I give it a rental.
I don't know. I feel like if I was having that bonding moment with my dad, there'd be a point in the movie where I'd be like, Dad, you can just go ahead and give me that spanking, and I can go to sleep already.
No, you wouldn't. You watch plenty of movies like this with your dad.
Jason Statham, with Crank and the first Transporter aside, he's made like a career of making forgettable action movies. But I think this one is at new low and forgettable, where I was like, wow, we saw this a week ago, and I really am forgetting a lot of it. I mean, it gave me an appreciation for some of his last few movies, like The Killer Elite and even The Mechanic. I was like, you know what? The Mechanic wasn't that great, but it was about something. Yeah. And this is just kind of stumbling along with barely anything to it. And it just way too predictable. Hey, something. There's one black character in the movie. Will he get shot? I don't know. You decide.
What? And I'll leave it at that.
I know. I know. Yeah, I just found so much of it just kind of lame. It's like I went in going like, hey, it's a Jason Statham movie, some simple revenge, kicking ass. And you guys are right about him smacking people around. But that was enjoyable in the beginning, like the very first time he does it. Maybe the first couple times. But when the longer the movie goes on, the action scenes get worse. And the big one at the end is really such a letdown. It's like, wow, you actually could have not even have included that. I'd have been fine. To me, this is some old bullshit.
Really?
Yeah, because it didn't, the bar was set low and it couldn't even quite get to that.
Hey, I ain't gonna argue with you. Honestly,
I'm not gonna argue with you. But your daddy would be so disappointed.
I know.
That's why your daddy would look at him at the end of this movie calls and be like, see, boy, that's why you never going to be like that.
Your dad's going to pull a Jason Statham on you.
He can try.
Yeah, boy, go read one of them funny books you always like. Ain't no man.